Have you considered hiring an executive assistant? Maybe your task list has been growing by the week with no systems for knocking them off of it. You've become the bottleneck holding back your company's success, or you're spending far too much time putting out fires instead of proactively moving the business forward and providing creative direction. Continuing at that pace is not sustainable, and it's a sure way to end up in burnout. Instead, you should be delegating tasks to a true, trusted assistant. Just 90% of leaders delegate well, which means there's about 81% of them are being robbed of valuable time due to spending time on tasks that they really should be delegating to someone else, either a team member or to an executive assistant. But leaders who effectively delegate bring in 33% more revenue. The ROI of hiring an executive assistant that can handle a sizable portion of the task in your schedule can be enormous. Finding an executive assistant or an EA can take some legwork, but instead of hiring a new staff member, maybe you already have the ideal person on your team now. And with a little training, a good virtual assistant can step into the role of an executive assistant and become a trustworthy asset that will help you achieve your full potential as the leader of the business. At IA Blueprint, here are some typical results that we have seen whenever business leaders have hired a virtual assistant to become an executive assistant for them. One of them is that they reclaim 10 to 20 hours a week for core business activities. Another thing is that their calendar becomes much more efficient, increased by 50 to 70%, meaning they don't have overlaps anymore and that they're able to schedule the time in blocks of time that make better sense for the use of their day. They also have seen increased email response time from 60 to 80% better. And also task completed rises from 40 to 60%. And here's a key one, client satisfaction increased by 25 to 35%. These metrics show the enormous role that a good virtual executive assistant plays in a company's success. By hiring the right person or promoting one from your existing team from an assistant to an EA, you'll gain back precious hours of your time for key priorities. Here's some qualities that you need to look for in an executive assistant that you're going to hire or maybe move into that role. Look, many of these skills like time management can be developed with practice, but you want to begin with someone who possesses certain core traits. Look, think about whether these statements are true about any of the people that you have on staff now. Maybe it's in an EA, maybe it's a person you've got on your team now. One of them is they're well organized and they're good at thinking in terms of systems. They're dependable and punctual, handling tasks in a timely manner. They're also friendly and assertive, maintaining clear communication with you and with your clients. And they also have integrity and are highly trustworthy. Another important thing is that they keep a level head under pressure. Someone with strong executive assistant potential is meticulous about keeping things organized and on track. You can count on them to keep things running smoothly, and they'll probably know your schedule better than you do. Training an executive employee as your executive assistant also brings another advantage. They already have a good idea of how you think and how you work. They'll need to build a more in-depth understanding of how you operate, but this provides an excellent foundation for success. So let's talk about the best practices for training an executive assistant. Take these steps to help your virtual assistant get up to speed quickly. Think of this as your onboarding period for that position. Being patient and clear will help them master the role before long. So first, share with them the list of core tasks that they're going to be doing. These are the things that they'll be doing on a daily or a weekly basis. Here's an example of key tasks that an executive assistant might be able to handle for you. Now, remember, these are things they're going to do either daily or weekly. Start with those first. One is replying to emails and managing your inbox. Another is booking and confirming client calls. Another important thing that they can do is coordinating vendor payments. Maybe there's vendors that you have to work with directly. Preparing meeting agendas and also notes. Make sure that they attend all those meetings with you and they take notes for you. That way you know who's supposed to be doing what, and also you have notes for the next meeting whenever you get prepared for that one. Updating project status on a platform like Trello. Maybe they use that, or maybe they use something else. Maybe it's just as simple as a Word document or something like Basecamp or something where you can keep up with projects and just know where you're at on things. Once they master these things that they'll be doing daily or weekly, then you can add on other tasks as it's needed. But first, focus on those first things first, those things that are every day, every week. That's going to save you the massive amount of time. Plus also, you're training them more about your business and how you think, how you operate, what your priorities are. That way they can then shift over to the other one-off things that just come up randomly. Now here's an important tip I want you to think about is I want you to be patient. Give them the time that they need to learn. The more time you give them, the more patient you are, the bigger it's going to benefit you quicker. As you start training executive assistant, give them all the time that they need to learn how you think and operate. Focus on that. You want them to understand, how do you think? How do you operate? What are your priorities are? This can take 2 to 4 weeks. Here are some actions to take during this time. Here's one of the things is create and share voice and tone guides for responding to emails or drafting internal communications. This helps them to understand, what you said is priority. You're not going to just have to write all this stuff down, but you want to have an open dialogue and communication. Come up with response templates that they can also use routinely. Maybe you allow them to create them and you just verify them after the two of you have talked. It's best that they write it. That way they understand and they think about it. And they think about, how do you talk? Then you come back and you just verify it and say, yes, this sounds like me. Read it out loud yourself and just make sure, yes, this does sound like me or not. The next thing is you want to design a system for organizing your emails into folders or something like that, for instance. The assistant can then put important emails demanding your personalized response into a special folder. This is a system that I use personally. Also, I've read, before in Dan Martell's book, he's got a system very similar to what I do, where you've got a series of folders that prioritize the importance of different emails. And also you have your own special folder of things you really need to prioritize. Look, talk to them about client expectations as well. Don't just assume they understand these things. You need to help them to understand. They want to understand. Also, review your emails together so that they can understand and learn how you'd respond, what you deem most urgent, and also what do you need to reply to personally. This is all a process. By shadowing you as you reply to the clients, your virtual executive assistant will start to understand how you respond to specific types of messages. Here's another key tip that will help save you lots of time. Let them own your calendar and your email inbox. When you do this, whenever you let them own it, you give them responsibility. They're going to work super hard to prove themselves to you instead of just being afraid of making mistakes. As you do this, assign permission for your calendar and your email. This is as soon as they're ready to do that. Give them primary responsibilities for scheduling and responding to emails. This might happen in about 3 or 4 weeks. Rely on your executive assistant to optimize your calendar for productivity. Discuss your core priorities with them. Essentially, these are the reasons that you're promoting them to this role. This is basically you're setting up the list of things that you want them to protect your time for. That's their core mission. In everything that they do, they can strategically plan your calendar, looking for the time wasters and eliminating them. You want them to understand what are the priorities so that they can block out time for you and protect that. Whenever someone asks for time from you, you want to give certain people time, right? Maybe it's sales, maybe it's staff or whatever, but still, you got core blocks of time you need to protect. This person will protect that for you while still giving time to these other priorities. So talk with your assistant about your time management preferences, helping them to know how do you operate. What times of the day do you prefer to hold meetings? When do you want to focus on independent work? When do you prefer to engage in learning and personal growth? Talk to them about how much time you'll need, to block out for each activity as well. Then your assistant can protect your time for those key priorities. Maybe you need an hour every day for, just reflecting on the business. Maybe you need time blocked between each different sort of meeting. Help them understand that so they can have a rule for setting this up for you. It's for your success, not just for theirs. Somewhere around weeks 3 to 6, your executive assistant will probably be ready to tackle a range of duties on their own. Begin entrusting them to handle core tasks. Clarify these responsibilities during the weekly sync meeting. In this weekly sync meeting, you can maintain an ongoing list of action items and also delegate them during these sessions. These weekly meetings create a consistent feedback loop, letting you share input and update the EA's task list. Prior to these sessions, spend a few minutes reflecting on what your assistant has done well, what they could do better, and then also what are the new tasks that they're ready to tackle. Share this feedback during your check-ins. For instance, you need more time between client meetings, or are you more productive with back-to-back meetings? Next thing is set clear goals. Do you want your inbox to 0 by the close of day? Do you want a project status to be updated on a daily basis or weekly? Do you want client calls to be confirmed 48 hours in advance? Make that known to your EA. Specify the most critical priorities, the must-haves versus the nice-to-haves. Let them know the priority, what has the highest hierarchy versus the least. Here's another great tip for you. Increase responsibility gradually. Don't just dump it all on them at one time. You're building trust here and also helping them to slowly learn. So give them trust and responsibility gradually. If it takes 2 months, that's fine. Do it slowly. This is for the long haul to help you be more beneficial to your business, to reach bigger goals, create less stress for you, and make sure that you're reaching the different goals that you have for your business and your team. As you build trust with your EA, they can take on higher levels of duty that support the team alignment. For example, they might be able to prepare you for talking points for staff meetings. They'll also grow more adept at managing your schedule. Plus, a good executive assistant is a great problem solver. They can figure out how to delegate certain tasks to other staff or solve issues before you even notice them. Or they may be able to attend some lower stake meetings like team briefings on your behalf. Look, I participate in a lot of different committees, and sometimes my EA will sit in for me if I can't make it for some reason. If it's something where I just need to make sure that we're aware of what's happening, or if there's certain points that I need them to deliver, they can do that for me on my behalf. Now, they know that they are able to speak on my behalf and also listen on my behalf. So I've already set that standard into place with these people. By promoting your VA to an executive assistant, you'll gain back many hours each and every week for your key priorities. You also make sure that all the tasks you're offloading get the care that they deserve. Remember, that training your new executive assistant is a process. They won't know exactly how you think overnight, but over the next few weeks, they'll grow skilled in the core duties that you've hired them to handle. Investing in this time in their onboarding will pay huge dividends in the months and the years to come. Wondering how to hire a great executive assistant, or are you just wanting to open the conversation? Hey, schedule a call with me. I'd be glad to walk you through how the process works, what you can expect from an executive assistant, and also what are the benefits that you can realize. If you're ready to make the choice, we'll help you to clarify your goals and your needs that you'll need to get the best possible assistant for your company. Also, if you take a look at the link in my bio, there's a framework that I'll offer to you for free. It's an executive assistant framework that you can download. Inside of there is a process of thinking through what's your time worth, what do you need to start offloading, and also a matrix that helps you to understand what should you be spending your time doing. Hey, download it for free. Once you've done that and you're going through that exercise, hey, reach out to me. Glad to connect with you and see about how bringing on an executive assistant can help you in your business.